I stood there, frozen, my heart hammering against my ribs like a trapped bird. The sound of shattering crystal still echoed in the silent ballroom, a jagged, terrifying noise that seemed to slice through the murmurs of the elite crowd. But it wasn't the sound that made my blood run cold. It was her face. Beatrice was smiling. She stood amidst the wreckage of 3 months of my hard work, her hand resting on the shoulder of her 7-year-old son, who was currently wiping chocolate-smeared hands on a tablecloth worth more than my car. A piece of the antique 19th century vase, the centerpiece of the entire charity auction, lay at my feet, pulverized. "Oops," Beatrice said, her voice dripping with a sickly sweet poison that made my stomach churn. She didn't look sorry, she looked triumphant. "Harrison is just so high energy. He's an explorer. You really shouldn't put such breakable things where children can reach them. This is entirely your fault, Genevieve." I looked at the shards. I looked at the horrified faces of the donors. And then I looked at the security guard approaching us. I knew in that split second that if I didn't destroy her right now, she would destroy me. But I had something she didn't know about. I had the microphone, and I had the footage. "My fault?" I whispered, gripping the mic until my knuckles turned white. "No, Beatrice, this time you're not paying with your husband's credit card. You're paying with your reputation." To understand how we got to that disastrous moment in the ballroom, you have to understand what the Gilded Cage meant to me. It wasn't just a boutique event planning agency, it was my life. I had poured every cent of my inheritance, every drop of my sweat, and 10 years of my sanity into building a reputation in the city. We catered to the high-end clientele, the kind of people who didn't look at price tags, but who expected perfection. I dealt with divas daily. I dealt with brides who cried because the napkins were the wrong shade of ecru. But nothing, absolutely nothing, could have prepared me for Beatrice and her little angel, Harrison. It started on a Tuesday, a rainy, miserable Tuesday in November. I was in the showroom with my assistant, Cordelia, a sweet, soft-spoken girl with an eye for design, but a terrifying lack of backbone. We were finalizing the layout for the Winter Solstice Gala, the biggest charity event of the year. This was the event that would secure my agency's future for the next decade. The bell above the door chimed, cutting through the sound of the rain. Beatrice entered like a storm front. She was beautiful in a sharp, jagged way. Expensive coat, hair pulled back so tight it looked painful, and eyes that scanned the room not with appreciation, but with appraisal. She was calculating the cost of everything she saw. Behind her, dragging a muddy toy truck across my pristine marble floors, was Harrison. "Can I help you?" Cordelia asked, stepping forward with her usual polite smile. Beatrice ignored her completely. She walked straight past Cordelia, her heels clicking aggressively on the floor, and stopped in front of my desk. She didn't say hello. She just threw a gold-embossed invitation onto my paperwork. "This," she said, pointing a manicured finger at the invite, "I received this for the gala. I need to know where my table is." I looked up, taking off my reading glasses. "Good morning to you too. I'm Genevieve, and you are?" "Beatrice Vanderwall." She said the name as if it should have triggered a fanfare of trumpets. "My husband is the CEO of Apex Industries. We are platinum donors." "Ah, Mrs. Vanderwall," I said, forcing a professional smile. "Yes, I recognize the name. Your husband has been very generous. However, the seating charts are finalized by the committee, not by me personally." "I don't care about the committee," she snapped, waving her hand dismissively. The smell of her perfume, something heavy, musky, and overwhelmingly expensive, filled the space between us. I want to be at the front, table 1, next to the mayor. I'm afraid table 1 is reserved for the event founders, I explained calmly. You are currently seated at table 4, which is excellent. It has a direct view of the stage. Crash! We both whipped our heads around. Harrison, the 7-year-old explorer, had just knocked over a display of imported Venetian masks. One of them, a delicate silver filigree piece, was lying on the floor, cracked down the middle. My heart skipped a beat. That mask was a loan from a collector. "Harrison!" Beatrice called out, but her voice lacked any real reprimand. It was the tone you'd use to call a puppy. "Be careful, darling." "He broke it," Cordelia whispered, her hands flying to her mouth. She rushed over to the debris. "Oh my God, Genevieve, the silver mask!" I stood up, my blood pressure rising. "Mrs. Vanderwall, your son just destroyed a collector's item. That mask is worth $1,200. Beatrice turned back to me, her eyes narrowing. She didn't look apologetic. She looked annoyed. "Oh, please. It was barely balanced. If anything, it's a safety hazard. He barely touched it. He's a child, Genevieve. He's curious. He explores the world with his hands. You can't stifle that kind of creative energy." I stared at her, stunned. "He knocked it over. It's broken." "Well, send me the bill," she scoffed, rolling her eyes. "Although I really shouldn't have to pay for your poor shelving stability. Now, about table 1. If I'm not at table 1, my husband might reconsider his donation next year." This was the first red flag, the first of many. She used her money as a shield and her son as a weapon. I took a deep breath, inhaling the scent of rain and stress. "I will see what I can do, Mrs. Vanderwall," I lied. I just wanted her out of my shop. "Good," she said. She whistled for Harrison. "Come along, darling. This place is boring anyway." As they left, Harrison dragged his muddy truck across the white train of a sample wedding gown displayed on a mannequin near the door. He left a long, brown streak of filth on the silk. Beatrice saw it. She definitely saw it. She just smirked and walked out. "Did you see that?" Cordelia asked, her voice trembling. "She saw him ruin the dress and she didn't say a word." "I saw it," I muttered, clenching my fists until my nails dug into my palms. "Clean it up, Cordelia, and put the broken mask in a box. I have a feeling this isn't the last we'll see of Beatrice." Over the next 3 weeks, Beatrice became a recurring nightmare. She wasn't even a client in the traditional sense. She was a guest of a client, but she treated my agency like her personal servants. She would call at 10 p.m. demanding to know the menu. She showed up at the floral vendor's warehouse and tried to change the flower arrangements because she hated lilies. But the worst incidents always involved Harrison. One afternoon, about a week before the gala, I was meeting with the caterer in my office. We were tasting tartlets. Beatrice barged in, unannounced, with Harrison in tow. "I need to speak to you about the lighting," she announced, ignoring the fact that I was in a meeting. "Amber light makes me look sallow. I want pink gels." "Mrs. Vanderwall, I am in a meeting," I said, my patience fraying like an old rope. "And the lighting has been set for months. It's a winter gala. The theme is ice and gold. Pink is not happening." While she argued, Harrison spotted the tray of sample desserts on the low coffee table. "I want that," he demanded, pointing at a lemon meringue tart. "Those are for the tasting, sweetie," the caterer said gently. "Give it to him," snapped, not looking away from me. "He's hungry. Low blood sugar makes him anxious. You don't want to trigger his anxiety, do you?" Before I could speak, Harrison grabbed 2 tarts. He took one bite of the first one, decided he didn't like it, and threw it on the carpet. My beige wool carpet. Then he squished the second one in his fist, watching the filling ooze out between his fingers with a look of pure, malicious glee. "Harrison, really?" Beatrice sighed, but she was smiling. She looked at me. "He's very tactile. He's a sensory learner. You really should have more child-friendly snacks if you're going to run a business." "This is an office, not a daycare," I said, my voice icy. I stood up. "Mrs. Vanderwall, you need to leave now." She bristled, her posture straightening like a cobra ready to strike. "Excuse me? Are you kicking me out?" "Yes, you are disrupting my business, and your son is destroying my property." She laughed, a harsh barking sound. "Do you know who I am? Do you know who my husband is? One phone call and I can have your little business buried under so many health code violations and bad reviews, you'll be working at a drive-thru by Christmas. Get out." She glared at me, grabbed Harrison's sticky hand and stormed out. "You'll regret this, Genevieve. Nobody says no to me. Nobody." I sank back into my chair, shaking. The caterer looked at me with wide eyes. "Wow, that woman is something else." "She's a monster," I whispered, "but she won't win. I won't let her ruin the gala." I was wrong. I underestimated how far she would go. The night of the Winter Solstice Gala arrived. The venue was the Grand Hotel Ballroom, a space of gilded mirrors, crystal chandeliers, and velvet drapes. It was breathtaking. We had transformed it into a winter wonderland. White roses, silver branches, and ice sculptures caught the light. I was running on caffeine and adrenaline. I wore a simple black dress, clutching my clipboard like a shield. Cordelia was managing the guest list at the door. "Is she here?" I asked Cordelia through my earpiece. "Not yet," Cordelia's voice crackled back, "but the husband, Alistair, is here. He seems nice, very quiet. He's apologizing to the coat check girl for his coat being wet." Good. Maybe he kept her at home, I prayed. But 20 minutes later, the air in the room changed. Beatrice arrived. She was wearing a dress that was technically white, which was a faux pas for a guest, but it was stunning. Diamonds dripped from her ears and neck. But what made my stomach drop was who was holding her hand. Harrison. The invitation explicitly stated, adults only, formal attire. Harrison was wearing a tuxedo, yes, but he was also holding a portable game console with the volume turned up. The bleeps and bloops cut through the string quartet's music. I marched over to the entrance. "Mrs. Vanderwall," I said, keeping my voice low, "this is an adults-only event. We discussed this." She looked down at me as if I were a bug. "Our nanny canceled. What did you expect me to do? Leave him on the street? Besides, he's well behaved. He has his game." "He cannot be here," I insisted. "There is alcohol, fragile auctions items. It's not safe." "He stays," she hissed, leaning in close. Her breath smelled of champagne. "Or we leave and take our $50,000 donation check with us. And I'll tell everyone that you discriminate against mothers. Imagine the headlines. Local event planner bans children from charity event." It was a bluff, but a dangerous one. The charity needed that money. The director of the foundation, a nervous man named Mr. Henderson, hurried over. "Is there a problem?" he asked, sweating. "Genevieve is trying to kick out my son," Beatrice said, putting a protective hand on Harrison's shoulder. Harrison stuck his tongue out at me. "Oh, no, Mr. Henderson stammered. It's fine. Let the boy stay. Just keep an eye on him, please." Beatrice smirked at me, a victory smirk. "See, some people understand hospitality." She swept past me into the ballroom. I felt a cold knot of dread in my stomach. "Cordelia," I said into my headset, shadow the kid. Do not let him out of your sight. If he touches anything, text me. For the first hour, it was manageable. Harrison sat under the table playing his game. Beatrice drank. She drank a lot. She was holding court at her table, laughing too loudly, criticizing the food, and making snide comments about my staff. "The service is so slow," I heard her complain to the mayor's wife. "And the decor, a bit tacky, isn't it? Looks like a high school prom." I gritted my teeth and kept working. The auction was the main event. We had incredible items: a trip to the Maldives, a diamond necklace, and the centerpiece, a 19th century Ming Dynasty vase, donated by a reclusive collector. It was valued at over $100,000. It was displayed on a pedestal in the center of the room, bathed in a spotlight. Around 9 p.m., the trouble started. I was near the kitchen when I heard Cordelia's panicked voice in my ear. "Genevieve, I lost him. He crawled under the tables and I can't find him." "Find him, Cordelia," I hissed, scanning the room. And then I saw him. Harrison had emerged from under the tablecloths near the dessert station. He had found the chocolate fountain. He didn't just dip a strawberry, he stuck his entire hand into the flowing chocolate. Guests gasped. He laughed, smearing chocolate over his face. A waiter tried to intervene, and Harrison kicked him in the shin, hard. "Beatrice!" I shouted, forgetting protocol. I pointed across the room. Beatrice was busy flirting with a local senator. She glanced over, saw her son covered in chocolate, and just waved her hand. "Let him have fun. It's just chocolate." But Harrison wasn't done. Fueled by sugar and the lack of discipline, he started running. He ran through the crowd, his chocolate-covered hands brushing against expensive gowns and tuxedos. Women screamed, men shouted. It was chaos. He was heading straight for the center of the room, straight for the pedestal. "Stop him!" I yelled, sprinting in my heels. Harrison thought it was a game. He saw me running and sped up. He was laughing, a manic, high-pitched sound. He dodged a waiter carrying a tray of champagne flutes. The waiter tripped, sending glass shattering everywhere. Harrison reached the pedestal. It wasn't bolted down. It was heavy, but he threw his whole weight against it. "No!" I screamed, lunging forward. I was too late. The pedestal tipped. The vase seemed to hang in the air for an eternity, spinning in the light. It was beautiful, even as it fell. Crash! The sound was deafening. $100,000 of history exploded into 1,000,000 shards on the ballroom floor. Silence descended on the room. Total, absolute silence. The music stopped, the chatter stopped. Everyone stared at the pile of porcelain and the boy standing next to it. Then, the cold open scene played out. Beatrice walked over, her heels clicking on the silence. She put her hand on Harrison's shoulder. "Oops," she said. "Harrison is just so high energy. This is entirely your fault, Genevieve." The audacity took my breath away. The sheer, unadulterated entitlement. She was blaming me? She was going to walk away from this, just like she walked away from the broken mask and the ruined wedding dress. But something snapped inside me. The fear of losing my business vanished, replaced by a cold, hard rage. I walked up to the stage. I took the microphone from the stunned auctioneer. "Ladies and gentlemen," I said, my voice shaking slightly but gaining strength with every word. "I apologize for the interruption." Beatrice rolled her eyes. "Oh, save the speech. How much was the dusty old pot? I'll write a check." "It's not about the check, Beatrice," I said, looking directly at her. The spotlight shifted to me. "It's about the pattern." I signaled to the tech guy, Mike, in the booth. We had prepared for a slideshow of the charity's work, but I had something else on the drive connected to the system. During the weeks of Beatrice's terror, I had started documenting. I had security footage from my shop. I had audio recordings of her threats. I was saving them for a lawsuit. But this was better. "Mike, switch to input B," I commanded. The giant screen behind the stage flickered. Suddenly, a video began to play. It was grainy security footage from my shop. It showed Harrison knocking over the Venetian mask. It showed Beatrice laughing. The crowd murmured. Then the next clip, the wedding dress, Harrison dragging the muddy truck, Beatrice watching him do it, then checking her reflection in the mirror. The murmurs grew to gasps. Then the audio recording from my office played over the speakers. Beatrice's voice, clear as day. "I can have your little business buried. Nobody says no to me." Beatrice's face went pale. She looked around the room. Her smirk was gone. "Turn it off," she screeched. "This is illegal. I'll sue you." "And finally," I said, pointing to the screen, "tonight." The screen showed the live feed from the security camera in the ballroom, rewound by 2 minutes. We watched Harrison run. We watched him aim for the pedestal. But most damning of all, we watched Beatrice. On the big screen, magnified for everyone to see, we saw Beatrice watching her son run towards the vase. We saw her raise her glass. We saw her mouth the words, "Go on." She had encouraged him. She wanted the chaos. She wanted to punish me for standing up to her. The silence in the room was now heavy with judgment. This wasn't just a clumsy child. This was a malicious mother. Alistair Vanderwall, her husband, stood up from his table. He was a quiet man, always in her shadow, but now his face was purple with rage and humiliation. He walked over to Beatrice. "Alistair, tell her to stop," Beatrice cried, grabbing his arm. "She's humiliating us." Alistair shook her hand off. He looked at the shattered vase, then at his chocolate-covered son, and finally at his wife. "She's not humiliating us, Beatrice," Alistair said, his voice booming in the quiet room. "You did that yourself." He turned to me. "Genevieve, I am so sorry. I had no idea. I had no idea it was like this." He pulled out his checkbook. "I will cover the cost of the vase and the cleaning and whatever damages my family has caused to your business." "Alistair!" Beatrice shrieked. "Don't you dare apologize to the help." "Shut up, Beatrice," Alistair said. It was calm but deadly. "Just shut up. Take Harrison to the car. We are leaving. And tomorrow, you and I are going to have a very long conversation about parenting and budgets." Beatrice looked around the room. She saw the disgust in the eyes of the mayor, the senator, her friends. She realized, perhaps for the first time in her life, that her money couldn't buy her way out of this shame. She grabbed Harrison's hand roughly, so much for gentle parenting, and dragged him out of the ballroom. Harrison was crying now, realizing the game was over. As the doors closed behind her, the room erupted into applause. Not polite golf claps, but thunderous applause. People were cheering. I stood on the stage, trembling. Mr. Henderson ran up and hugged me. "That was brave," he said. The rest of the night was a blur. The gala was a massive success. The drama had actually loosened people up. Donations poured in. The story of the vase incident became legendary. A week later, Cordelia walked into my office with a newspaper. "Did you see?" she asked, grinning. I looked at the social pages. There was a small blurb. "Socialite Beatrice Vanderwall removed from charity board following gala debacle. Rumors of divorce proceedings swirl around the Vanderwall estate." And below that, a review for the Gilded Cage. It was from Alistair, 5 stars. "Professional, resilient, and honest. Genevieve runs a tight ship, highly recommended. I looked at the spot on the shelf where the Venetian mask used to be. It was empty, but the shop felt full of peace. Beatrice had tried to break me. She thought she was the queen of the world because she had a platinum card and a child she refused to discipline. She thought motherhood was a shield for bad behavior. But she forgot one thing. You can't buy class, and you certainly can't buy respect. I sipped my coffee, listening to the soft jazz playing in the background. The bell chimed. A new customer walked in. "Welcome," I said, smiling genuinely for the first time in weeks. "How can I help you create something beautiful today?" That night taught me something valuable. There are people in this world who believe that the rules don't apply to them. They use their children as excuses for their own lack of empathy and manners. They think that because they are parents, the world owes them infinite patience. But being a parent isn't about letting your child destroy the world around them. It's about teaching them how to live in it with respect. Beatrice failed Harrison. She taught him that he was the center of the universe, and in doing so, she set him up for a lifetime of failure. I never saw Beatrice again. I heard she moved to the coast, probably to terrorize a new set of shop owners. But Alistair kept his word. He paid for everything, and he even set up a trust for the charity in my name. Sometimes standing up to a bully is the scariest thing you can do, especially when that bully is a wealthy mother with a screaming child. But if you don't draw the line, who will? Thank you so much for listening to my story. It was a nightmare living through it, but telling it feels like closing a heavy door. If you've ever dealt with an entitled parent or a Yasmat who thought their child could do no wrong, please hit that like button. Let's see how many of us have survived the madness. Subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon so you never miss a new confession. We have so many more stories to tell. And now I have a question for you. If you were in my shoes, would you have played the video in front of everyone, or would you have handled it privately? Was I too harsh, or did she deserve the public shaming? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single one. Stay strong and don't let anyone break your spirit or your vases.